Hey there, and welcome to this episode. Today I'm talking about saving, but I also want to talk saving in contrast to the accumulation of wealth. A lot of Christians have a bit of discomfort around this idea of accumulating wealth. We think as believers we're on this earth for a very short time. Our purpose, of course, is not to accumulate wealth, it's to glorify God with what we have. So I want to make this distinction, though, between saving versus hoarding. And I want to address this idea as to whether Christians should accumulate wealth and whether that's a biblical activity or not. Let's start with saving. Now, there's a great passage in Proverbs that I want to read out to you from Proverbs 6. So let me read it out to you. It says, "Go to the ant, you sluggard, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest." Okay, so using this concept of the ant, what's it do? It stores away for a future date. And that's the thing with money management, is that we should store some money away for a future date. Now, that could be for all sorts of things. Now, an obvious long-term one is retirement, but there may be short-term things like saving for a deposit for a house, or saving to buy a new car, or saving towards your children's education. There are all sorts of things that we might be saving for. And they're purposeful. They have relevance in our lives, and they're perfectly okay. They're not ungodly things to save for. And of course, the Bible is actually encouraging you to save. There's nothing wrong with saving for the future, okay? But then it talks about a second thing, and that's called hoarding. Now, let me read to you this passage from Ecclesiastes. So this is Ecclesiastes 5:13. It says, "I have seen a grievous evil under the sun, wealth hoarded to the harm of its owners." Okay, now notice that. It says wealth that's hoarded is actually harmful. It can harm you. And the reason, of course, is very simple. Firstly, that money is usually, when people hoard, it's usually out of fear of lack. If I don't save this money for the future, I might run out, okay, in the future. Now, there is legitimate people, I've seen people run out of money, so that is a problem. However, hoarding is really about storing up money that's never going to get used, has no purpose to it, and it's just done out of fear, okay? So you're accumulating, and you're going to end up with all these possessions that are never going to get used. And I have seen this happen in people's lives, where they end up with an enormous amount of wealth, never gets used, never gets given, and of course, you die. And the Bible says very clearly, you come into this life naked, you leave naked, okay? And so ultimately, you can't take any of it with you, okay? And so what I really want to encourage you is to think, how do I live generously with my money? Yes, I want to save for things that are purposeful and build wealth for things that are relevant, but not hoard it away, because that's ultimately harmful to me, my soul, and it's harmful to God's kingdom, because that money's not going to be used for good purposes and for extending God's kingdom. So that's a bit of important way of thinking biblically about saving and accumulating wealth. Thanks for watching.